Hey everyone, super excited and thrilled to be back again with another video. Before I start off, I would really like to thank you all once again. I think the first video which I uploaded on the GMAT tips saw more than 600 views already, and I can't thank you enough. So thanks everybody, whoever subscribed to my channel and also hit the like button. It really means a lot to me because it tells me that there is someone who is benefiting from the content I'm putting out, and it is the motivation for me putting more such videos. With that, let me tell you a quick story. So just a few days back, I was thinking what was the common thing in my admission to IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore and Harvard Business School. And one of the things that stood out to me was my resume was the same for these three schools. So in this video, I would like to talk about the 10 tips which I feel have really made a difference to my resume and helped me get those admits. With that, let's dive straight into it. The number one tip is to make sure that you have a proper structure to your resume. In the structure, I want you to have three things, and the three things are: on the top, you should always start with your professional experience. Now, if you're applying to a college like IIM Ahmedabad where you may not have work experience, you can talk about internships here, but the first section should definitely be your professional experience, followed by your education, and the third section should be around community leadership, awards, and additional stuff. The second tip which I have for all of you is, from one of my last videos on GMAT. If you haven't watched that video, you should totally watch it. The tip is called quality over quantity. It's important for you to prioritize your achievements and not mention everything that you do in your daily job. And for this, I'd recommend having a funnel structure. Now, what the funnel structure means is you should give more space in your resume for more recent work experience. So your most recent work experience should have around 5 bullet points, and the second most recent work experience, for example, should have 3 bullet points, and so on and so forth, as you can see here. The third tip which I have for all of you when you're making your resume is to have everything put into context. Whenever you mention a number, do give context. Whenever you mention your company's name, do give context. For example, if you work, let's say, for a startup, you can mention that this is a VC funded firm and this has raised, for example, $13 million in the past, or you can mention it's the fastest growing startup in India. So you always make sure you give context. And whenever you mention an achievement, for example, you say that you helped improve the revenue by 100,000, let's say. Now 100,000 could mean different things in different companies. For a company like Microsoft, it's really a very small percentage of its total revenue. But let's say for a company, a bootstrap company that just started, let's say a month back, that could mean a lot. So always have a baseline to compare to. So when you say that you helped improve the revenue by, let's say, $100,000, you can always say, and that's an increase of 20% from year on year average. The fourth tip, and which I believe could be the most important tip in this video, is the method you use to write each bullet point. Now, you may have heard of the famous STAR method, which is the situation, task, action, and result. But for resume points, I would recommend that you can focus on action result or result action. How do you decide which method to use? The answer is very simple. If your action was more important than the result, for example, you convinced the CEO or negotiated a big deal with a client, put the format of AR, action, result. But for example, if your result was significantly stronger and may help you grab the attention of the reader, you can directly talk about the result first. So you can mention, I helped increase the revenue by 20% or cut costs by 30%. So depending on the context, choose AR or RA. The fifth tip which I have for you is make sure that your resume looks visually pleasing. By that I mean, please don't cramp up the resume just to add in more content. When somebody is trying to read your resume, it should be easy on their eyes, easy for them to read. So make sure that you have the margins set right And also make sure you have spacing not only between the sections but between each bullet point, because some bullet points may be more than 2 lines long and that may confuse the reader. So make sure that you have enough spacing. The 6th tip which I have for all of you, and this might well be one of my most favorite ones, is to make sure you show multifaceted skills in your broader set of skills. Now, what does that mean? It means, let's say if you work as a product manager, you don't have to keep talking about product always. If, for example, you work as an HR, you don't have to talk about talent management always. You can talk about different facets of your personality. By that, I mean, have a look at this. Here you see, as a product manager, I've talked about 4 to 5 different things. For example, you can talk about strategy, you can talk about product, you can talk about investment, you can talk about mentorship. Make sure that each point which you have on your resume caters to one of these and highlight that to show to your reader that, well, you are multidimensional truly. The 7th tip which I have for all of you is to emphasize your leadership skills over analytical skills. This is especially true when you're applying to a business school. They really want to see what kind of a leader you are. So if, for example, you should have things like, I led this, I negotiated XYZ, I persuaded XYZ, than just saying, okay, my skills are Excel, R, PowerPoint, etc. etc. So don't do that. Don't have multiple skills listed anywhere on your resume. Just talk about more leadershipy things. The 8th tip which I have for all of you is on the length of your resume. The rule here is, if you have 10 years of work experience or lesser than that, please just use 1 page of resume and no more. If, for example, you're applying for other jobs that need, or other schools that need, have a executive program that look at people with more than 10 years of experience, maybe you can extend to 1.5 pages. But if you have 10 years of work experience or lesser than that, stick to 1 page. The 9th tip which I have for all of you is to have the hobbies that are personalized to you. Don't use generic terms that, for example, you like cooking. I mean, a lot of people like cooking, but for example, you can mention, I love baking cakes and a cheesecake is my favorite cake to bake, for example. Or if you like hiking, you can say, I like hiking and I've hiked through the Swiss Alps. So do you see how that little bit of personalization adds so much flavor to the resume? That is a tip that you can use whenever you want to add hobbies to your resume. Another great addition could be languages. So if you speak different languages, that's a big plus. It really shows that you're a well-rounded person. So consider adding languages as well to your resume. The final and the 10th tip that I have for you guys is to make sure that you keep it very, very simple and, if I may say, boring. Don't try to go over the board by choosing fancy resume templates or adding your picture to your resume that is really fluff and does not add much value to your application. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much again for watching. Now, if you're gonna use even one of these tips, or if you found even one of these tips helpful, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel. It really tells me that you're enjoying the content and really motivates me to put more such content out there. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all the next time. Bye.